All right, Mr. Rich. So here are your bees. That brown spotting on the outside tells me they've been here definitely 6 to 9 months for sure. Basically, each time a bee lands, she brings back a little bit of debris, and the more bees you have, the larger the hive. The longer they've been there, the bigger this patch you'll see. Some of the ones that we work on, you'll see just black, and I just cry a little bit inside. Super fun. All right, here's the neat part. This is the thermal camera. It basically picks up the heat disparity between this part of the wall, that part of the wall. So right where you see the bees, 75 degrees, that's right above the hole, and it stops right about a foot, or about 9 inches or so, right above the fence line. But basically the bees keep a consistent 88 to 95 degrees, and that's the bulk of the babies. They need to keep the babies warm so that they can incubate properly, and so it heats up the wall around them. Don't really need this. It's just fun. It's neat. I enjoy having it. It's big boys and their toys, right? But there you go. There's your beehive. And in case people are wondering why we don't just cut them open, because I don't feel like it. I'm in this for rescuing bees, not construction, and tearing this wall apart and putting it back together does not sound like a grand time to me, so we do a trap out instead. I'll walk you guys briefly through it, but basically this cone sits on the wall, and then the bees will leave the wall and can't get back in. There's a box here. I'll cover that in a second. Let me get through the rest of it, and then we'll go from there. Before I get too carried away, here is the box that they're going into. There's old honeycomb here that basically is a great place for them to deposit food. This is from another colony that we've rescued. We move things around a lot, so these are resources I really need to be able to extract stuff like that out of walls. And this is also for swarms. I know you'll be interested, but at least this gives them something to build on pretty quickly, so this helps me bribe them and get some to stick around. So I'm going to close this up. My lid flew off the back of my truck, so I'm using my work bin, and it fits just fine for now, and then we'll swap it out later. Okay, Rich, so here's what's really neat is, here's them up close. You hear them? So that girl right there, actually a couple of them are fanning, so they are basically getting the moisture out of their colony to dry out the honey, or dehydrate, I don't know what the right word is, but basically decrease the moisture content. The nectar that they bring in needs to be cured to become honey, and needs to drop down to right around 14% water content before they can cap it, and that's what we know is honey. Otherwise, before that, it's what they call uncapped honey, and it's really neat to be able to see them. And what's more cool, obviously you can't see this through video, but it's got a great scent to it. It's just earthy, sweet, and also lets me know that everything's hunky-dory with this hive. Poor colonies with bad something, whatever it is, disease, they give off a slightly different scent. Sometimes it's an odor, and that's a good indicator of knowing how strong a colony is before we start with them. Okay, so I'm gonna light this smoker. Quick ghetto thing is cardboard, so I'm gonna light this. I just need a few minutes of smoke. Not that I really need it. I'm not worried about them flying out. I just want to respect their space and time. If I just go in here and just start poking them, actually I can do that. They probably wouldn't really care, but it's just not so nice. So I want to change their behavior a little bit. This way we can get a jump start on the way that the trap should work. All right, here we go. Hopefully I do this without burning myself. First day. There we go. All right, I just need a little bit. Need to push them a little bit further back so I can put it on the cone without squishing them. Is actually mostly why I need to do this. Sometimes if they're already inside, I don't need to, but I'm going to be drilling, and they don't like the vibration. So when you do the smoke, it changes their physiology a little bit, because our physiology, I don't know. Their chemical reaction is right now there's a certain pheromone that they're exuding. See how it's quiet? And then so when they think there's a fire, it changes their behavior. Good job, girls. And two things happens. One, they don't release the stranger danger pheromone, and then the other thing is makes them think there's a fire, so they start to engorge themselves with honey in preparation for evacuation. So there we go. All right, need my other hand now. One of these days I'm going to actually have a tripod that I don't lose. Story for a different day. So I've drilled 2 holes already and they're not flooding out, which is a really good sign. Hi girls. That's the last thing I want, is for them to be miserable through this whole process and kind of go ape poop at 7:30 at night. That's a bad day. Bad way to end the day. This spider's got the right idea. It's just hanging out, rolls over, eats something, goes back to sleep. It's right next to the entrance. Gotta love nature. Here's all the other carcasses and stuff. Crazy. All right, Rich, here we go. Great box, ghetto lid, but that's fine. Whatever gets the job done, right? So the idea is the bees will be flying out this nozzle looking for food. When they fly back, they usually don't find this nozzle. Some really smart bees will, but typically they're going to try to come back here because that's where they think they exited from. This is an old hive, so I believe in double redundancies. So basically it's screwed in, caulked, and then taped around the edges. Sooner or later the caulking is going to harden, and then that's not bad for a solution. But anywho, when the bees fly back, they physically can't. This box here, as you saw earlier, has old honeycomb, smells like beehive. So imagine this: you went to the store, you bought a bunch of groceries, you're carrying it into your house, and then you need to drop it off. Unless you want to hold on to it forever, you need to put it in the pantry or inside the fridge. So the bees are the same way. When they come back, when they're flying back, they come back with food, pollen or nectar, and they have to get rid of it so they can go out and do their job, which is to find more food for the colony. So if they can't go there, then they've got to use this as the next closest resource available for a home. So they drop off food, fly out, look for food. Now that bee is going to be acclimated to this box, and then we're going to keep getting bees coming out, slightly confused, find the box and keep using it. Over time, what ends up happening is this box is going to smell. Remember how you saw the bee earlier, fan out that scent of the honey? Well, they stopped doing that there because all the honey is either cured or being eaten, and they start to scent the box, and now this box smells stronger than your hive, and then this starts to really speed up the process. Now over time, what ends up happening is the bees inside your wall, on average, they say the queen can lay anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 eggs per day. So that's a lot of mouths to feed. I don't know if you have kids or not, but well, they eat a lot. And imagine feeding 2,000 per day, that's like every single day. So, but the cool thing is, as soon as the trap goes up, they stop making babies because it's triggered by incoming food and resources. No more food, they stop making babies. So now you start the clock down, the countdown, I should say. So now the bees inside the wall, as they're getting born, they're hatched, whatever you want to call it, they consume the food, and at some point they have to leave because there's no more incoming food, and they're depleting the resources, so they gotta bail. 80% of the time they end up inside the box. If you look up trapouts, there's classic trapouts for pretty much every single animal. I started this because I was trying to get fish out of my damn pond, but basically the old school method I've seen, like old long time ago, but they would run the cone through a box and then they would run that through the exit. But it's very impractical for most of our circumstances, so I needed to do something that works very methodically. I've done probably at least 750, maybe 1,000 of these in my lifetime. So this is it works, it's good without tearing your wall, so I'm happy with that. But anywho, that should be it. So after a couple weeks there'll be margarine over and we call it good. But that's it. I don't think I might add some videos to this afterwards, but that should be all. Appreciate you saving the bees, and bye-bye. Sorry, you're probably done staring at this cone now. Alright guys, so we are 5 weeks into the process, and take a look at this. Blam. Good job, girls. This lid, ironically, is the best lid would have possibly had, especially through the rains. I'm not gonna muck around with them too much, but there you go. Good job, ladies. Food's inside. Looking for brood. I can usually kind of see it from the side, and I can see some brood right through here, so that's good. I haven't smoked the bees and don't intend to. I'm trying to go through the day without smoking. Yep, you heard me. Alright, we'll see you guys on the next bee adventure. Appreciate it, and bye-bye.